Former US President Barack Obama and the former First Lady Michelle Obama have endorsed Kamala Harris for the White House. Joining me now is former Howard Government Minister and Bondi Partners Senior Advisor, Peter McGauran. Nice to see you. Plenty to talk about.
Indeed,
yes, the endorsement by Barack Obama is now official and Kamala Harris is in the race. How do you think she will be as a Democrat leader?
Well, she's had a sugar hit and we're yet to see how long that lasts. But at the moment, it's a dead heat between Trump and Harris. The endorsement of Michelle and Barack Obama was predictable. The whole Democrat establishment is coming in behind them. It was a particularly staged and cheesy moment. I think you'd agree, Janie, that she takes a phone call just by chance in front of waiting media and immediately puts it on loudspeaker.
Yes, we'll probably see plenty more of that kind of vision, would you say?
Correct.
But, OK, so she's eager to debate Trump. How do you think that debate will go in a couple of weeks?
Trump will be very strong, but he's his own worst enemy. I believe at this stage it's Trump's election to lose. Can he control himself? Can he be more civil and respectful of a woman candidate than poor old Joe Biden, who was everybody's punching bag? So it's really up to Trump. He'll have to adjust his tactics. If he doesn't, he'll come across as even more uncivil, even more misogynist than his critics claim.
What do you make of JD Vance, his pick for Vice President?
Well, he's made a mistake, of course, in 2021. He'd be more moderate now, I suspect, in making fun of childless women. Now, that's just stupid and abusive and offensive. So he'll have to live with that. I suggest he walk away from that. It was sarcasm, it was an attempt at dark humour, but it's been dredged up now. He has to be very careful of alienating independent and soft Republican voters who will decide this election.
Well, Anthony Albanese has joined Canada and New Zealand for a ceasefire as some of his strongest messages since the October 7 attack. What do you make of that?
I think it's window dressing and attempting to appeal to the pro-Palestinian cause because none of them have a solution. I noticed even Kamala Harris, when she met Netanyahu in Washington, said, I call for an immediate ceasefire, but Israel's got a right to defend itself. So nobody's got a solution because Hamas are not willing partners for peace. How can you sue for peace if you don't have a partner? And it seems that the regional Arab powers are not stepping in to help Hamas. None of them want Hamas in their territory. None of them want Hamas resurrected. So everybody seems to have their own agenda, and I think this is a political move, and I think it's that those governments, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, would be better off focused in finding solutions and demanding the big powers find a solution. At the moment, there is no solution.
We're going to find out tomorrow the cabinet reshuffle of the Labor government. How do you see this unfolding?
Well, Albanese, Prime Minister Albanese has, of course, the New South Wales Labor conference this weekend, and it will be likely to be disrupted outside by pro-Palestinian demonstrators, possibly inside. He wants as much harmony and discipline as possible, so he's delaying the announcement. It will be a minimal reshuffle. Two are retiring. He will shift the two underperforming ministers, Claire O'Neill in Home Affairs, Andrew Giles in Immigration. But he values stability above all else, and so I think he'll try to present it as business as normal.
OK, and no doubt cost of living, housing and immigration are the main issues in Parliament. We've got, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to know about the inflation figures and potential interest rate rises, so all eyes on the RBA. What are the ramifications if we see what most people don't want to see, and that's potentially, more interest rates, etc.
Exactly, Janie. I'm glad we've come back to an event that will largely decide the next election. The Olympics are going on, American politics are going on, reshuffles, Hamas, war, etc. It's distracting people temporarily from the key issue, which is interest rates and, of course, cost of living. So next week we get the inflation rate. It's 3.6% at present, probably go to 3.8%. Then the week after, the RBA has to decide how it responds in interest rates. If it puts up interest rates, sure, it will curb inflation, but Australia's growth rate is anemic at 1%. It could push Australia into recession. They'll need the wisdom of Solomon.
All right, and the potential for an early election, what would you need to see for that to happen?
It's a good question, and it relates to what the RBA does. If it takes up interest rates, then no election this year. If it maintains interest rates, there's still the possibility of a 7 December election.
We'll have to wait and see. Always great to see you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Janie.